Did you know that Jesus' wine jars might have came from this ancient village? This is Kfar Hananya. Located in the Upper Galilee in northern Israel, up to the 5th century AD, this village was the main pottery production center of the Galilee. In fact, archaeology reveals that vessels from Kfar Hananya were so dominant, they've been found at almost every Roman-era site in the Galilee in the Golan Heights. Excavations led by archaeologist David Adan-Bayewitz between 1986 and 1989 discovered multiple pottery kilns carved into the rock, alongside with piles of broken pottery pieces that were probably discarded during production. Because the pottery made here were extremely durable, it became widely used throughout the Galilee in antiquity. The Babylonian Talmud even mentions cooking vessels from Kfar Hananya, noting that vessels made from its clay were strong enough to be used directly over fire without it cracking. The village also sits along an important road between the Upper and Lower Galilee. A hill overlooking the village was reportedly fortified by Josephus during the Great Jewish Revolt against Rome in 67 AD. Archaeological evidence also suggests that during this time, the villagers even dismantled some of their pottery kilns to take their stones and built defensive walls, as archaeologists found remains of kilns that have been deliberately taken apart and reused in defensive structures nearby. Additionally, surveys have also identified the remains of a large public building in the center of the village, which some researchers believe may have once been a synagogue. The village is also traditionally associated with Rabbi Hanina ben Dosa, a well-known first-century Jewish sage and miracle worker who is said to have lived in Kfar Hananya. A famous story says that his daughter once accidentally filled the Shabbat lamps with vinegar instead of oil, and he told his daughter that the one who commands the oil to burn can also command vinegar to burn. According to the story, the lamps continued to burn throughout the entire Shabbat. Near the ruins today are 3 traditional tombs associated with rabbinic figures from the Mishnaic period, including Hananya ben Akashia, a Jewish sage whose teachings appear in the Mishnah, Eliezer ben Yaakov, a respected rabbinic authority who's known for describing the structure of the Second Temple, and Zechariah ben Akatsav, who is a well-known Jewish sage who lived around the time of the temple's destruction. Unlike many ancient Galilean villages, Kfar Hananya continued to exist for centuries, surviving through the Roman, Byzantine, Crusader, and Mamluk periods, and finally being abandoned in the 16th century.